So let's start with the optimists. What are some of the positive outcomes they foresee as AI art becomes more integrated into the creative process?
I'm ready to hear some good news. Tell me about the exciting potential of AI art.
Well, a lot of folks believe that AI could actually boost human creativity.
Mm.
Imagine having a tool that helps you explore ideas, experiment with different styles, or even take care of those tedious, time-consuming tasks so you can focus on the big picture.
It's like having a superpowered assistant who can whip up variations on a theme. Or take a rough sketch and turn it into a polished masterpiece in minutes.
Exactly. And think about what this could mean for aspiring artists. It could make creating art way more accessible, even for those who don't have years of training or expensive equipment.
Democratizing art, in a sense. It's exciting to think about how AI could level the playing field and empower anyone to bring their creative visions to life.
There's also this idea that AI could be a real game changer for artists who are stuck in a creative rut. Imagine using AI to generate unexpected combinations or explore styles you'd never even considered before.
It's like having a brainstorming buddy who can push you outside your comfort zone and spark new ideas. Who knows what kind of mind-blowing art movements could emerge from these collaborations?
And that's a key point: collaboration. A lot of the experts in these videos are talking about AI as a partner, not a replacement. Artists could work with AI, using it to amplify their own skills and push the boundaries of what's possible.
It's a fascinating concept, isn't it? The human artist is still the director, guiding the creative vision, but AI becomes this powerful tool that expands their creative toolkit.
It's a far cry from the dystopian scenarios some people are worried about. The whole robots taking over the art world thing.
Right. So let's talk about those fears. What are some of the potential downsides that the more pessimistic voices are raising?
Well, job displacement is a big one. If AI can create art faster and cheaper than humans, it's understandable that artists are worried about losing work.
It's a valid concern, especially in fields like graphic design or commercial illustration, where speed and efficiency are often prioritized.
There's also this fear that the market will be flooded with AI-generated art, leading to a devaluation of human creativity. If anyone can create art with a few keystrokes, what happens to the value of art that's been carefully crafted by human hands?
It's a question of scarcity versus abundance. Will AI art become so commonplace that it loses its value and appeal? And what does that mean for the artists who have dedicated their lives to honing their craft?
And then there's the argument that AI art, while technically impressive, lacks the soul and emotional depth of human-created art. It's art made by algorithms, not by a heart and mind that has lived and experienced the world.
It's a philosophical question that goes to the heart of what it means to be human and what makes art truly meaningful. Can a machine truly capture the essence of the human experience in the same way that a human artist can?
It's a debate that will likely rage on for years to come. But it's important to remember that AI isn't a monolithic entity. There are different approaches to AI development, and some are definitely more ethical than others.
You're right. We can't just lump all AI together. There are nuances and different perspectives within the field itself.
One of the experts, Steven Zapata, who actually runs an AI grant program for startups, makes a really important point about this. He says there's a lot of variation within the AI community, and that not everyone is on board with the way things are being done.
So there's actually some internal dissent within the AI world. That's reassuring.
Definitely. He talks about how, while companies like Stability AI and Midjourney have been getting a lot of attention, good and bad, there are others who are really concerned about the ethical implications and are trying to find a more responsible path forward.
I'm curious to hear about those alternative approaches. Did he mention any specific examples of people or projects that are pushing for a more ethical approach to AI art?
He does. He brings up this fascinating conversation he had with Evan Conrad, who works at Stability AI. Stephen was surprised to learn that profit wasn't necessarily their main motivation.
If not profit, then what's driving them?
Well, Evan explained that their ultimate goal is to achieve something called artificial general intelligence, or AGI, is basically AI that can do anything a human can. But on a much larger scale, they see AI art as a step toward that bigger vision.
It's a lofty ambition, to say the least, but I can see how that might clash with the concerns of artists who are dealing with the more immediate impacts of AI on their livelihoods. It's like, sure, maybe AGI will solve all our problems someday, but what about us right now?
Exactly. And Stephen actually pushed back on this, arguing that the whole AGI argument is kind of irrelevant to the ethical issues surrounding AI art today.
He's got a point. You can't just hand wave away ethical concerns by saying, don't worry, it'll all work out in the end.
Right. He basically challenged those working on AI art to put their money where their mouth is. If they truly believe in creating a better future through AGI, they should be demonstrating that commitment by listening to artists and developing ethical AI models now.
It's a call for accountability, for aligning actions with values.
He even went so far as to challenge them to create an open source, Creative Commons version of the technology, one that's based on ethically sourced data and doesn't infringe on artists' rights.
That's a bold challenge. Do you think they'll take him up on it?
Who knows? But it would be amazing to see an ethical AI model become the standard because it wouldn't have all the baggage of copyrighted data and legal issues. It would be a game changer.
It would certainly be a powerful statement, and it would go a long way toward building trust between the AI community and the art world.
And it really highlights the importance of artists being vocal and advocating for themselves. They can't just sit back and wait to see what happens. They need to be part of the conversation, shaping the development of AI in a way that benefits everyone.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the question of what artists can do right now to protect themselves and their work in this rapidly changing landscape.
Well, Carla Ortiz, who we mentioned earlier, has some really practical advice. She stresses the importance of organization and collective action.
There's power in numbers, that's for sure.
Exactly. She encourages artists to join organizations like the Concept Art Association, which is actively lobbying for legislation and fighting for artists' rights in the age of AI. It's about artists coming together and making their voices heard.
It's like forming a union for the digital age. Strength in unity.
She also talks about the importance of education. Artists need to understand how these AI tools work, where the data comes from, and what the potential implications are for their careers.
Knowledge is power, as they say. The more you understand about something, the better equipped you are to deal with it.
And she stresses that it's not just about understanding AI. Artists need to be savvy about their own rights as creators and know how to protect their intellectual property.
It's like learning the rules of the game so you can play it strategically.
She encourages artists to reach out to their communities, connect with other artists who are dealing with these same issues, and start having those tough conversations.
It's about sharing knowledge, supporting each other, and finding strength in community.
And it's not just about talking amongst themselves. Carla emphasizes the importance of engaging with policymakers,
Yeah.
reaching out to elected officials, and making sure that artists' concerns are being taken seriously at the legislative level.
That's a crucial step. Policymakers need to understand the real-world impact of AI on artists' lives and livelihoods.
She also talks about the importance of working with lawyers who specialize in intellectual property and technology law, especially as the legal landscape around AI art is still evolving so rapidly.
That makes sense. You need an expert to navigate those legal waters.
And she also highlights the role of the media in shaping public perception and holding companies accountable. Artists need to be vocal, share their stories, and work with journalists to make sure that the ethical implications of AI art are being discussed.
It's about raising awareness and keeping the pressure on.
But even with all these challenges, there's this underlying sense of optimism in her message. She keeps emphasizing that this is a pivotal moment, a time when artists can actually make a difference. By coming together, raising their voices, and demanding change, they can shape the future of AI art.
It's inspiring to hear that, even amidst all the uncertainty, there's still hope and a sense of agency.
And beyond the collective action, there are things that individual artists can do right now to protect their work. Artists need to be proactive on all fronts, protecting their work online, advocating for stronger legal protections, and educating themselves and others about the ethical implications of AI art.
It's a multi-pronged approach. You need technology, legal frameworks, and a collective awareness to really make a difference.
And speaking of legal frameworks, there's a huge debate happening right now about the role of copyright in the age of AI. If you type in a prompt and an AI generates an image, who owns the copyright?